call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No phone.
Okay. All right. Roll call. Let the roll call reflect that all members are present with the exception of Director Molnar. Before we get rolling, I just feel the need to offer condolences to the family of the student we lost over the past week. I know it's been a difficult week for a lot of people, and I just wanted to say that our thoughts are with the family and all those affected. 4.0, student rep information. We have a student today.
Thank you. Welcome back, everybody, although this is not your first time being back here. Our first week went really well, actually. They brought us into the auditorium, and they brought us in by grades, and they just kind of told us, welcome back, these are the activities that you can join this year. Yearbook, youth in action, drama, Vine. They just showed us all these different activities that we could do, and that was nice that we could just see everything. JoJo Scott, our new athletic director, was very helpful in explaining all these wonderful things. It was great. We then got settled down. We got back into the swing of things after being gone for a while, and then we had tragedy strike when we lost one of our students. That was a very hard week for all of us, but we came together as a school against Hibbing. We all wore green, and we were all very delighted to be there, and we were very excited for that win. Our school showed a lot of support at her funeral, and it was really nice. Our whole school came together, even if they didn't know her. It was nice. So now we're in recovery mode of this. We're trying to start moving again. Everyone's getting their late homework handed in, and we're getting back to the way things used to be, which is great. So activities have now started. Yearbook is having their first meeting on Wednesday at 7:40 in the morning. Fabulous. Youth in Action has already started planning ideas for what we can be doing this year, whether it be a food drive, clothing drive, just something to help out our community. Drama has now started. We had auditions on the 10th and the 11th. Our play this year is Salvation Road. I think our play dates are the 26th, the 27th, and the 29th. I could be wrong on that, though. I definitely know that's the 26th and the 27th, though. Vine is starting back up. We just have a bunch of activities right now that are going into full swing. One of our new activities that we are thinking about is a fishing team. They just had their meeting to decide what's going to go on, and I don't know how that went. It looked interesting, though. We have homecoming this year on October 3rd, which is a little odd, but perfectly okay. So homecoming, we kind of already planned our dress-up days, which are Generation Day, Spirit Day, Beach Day, Pajama Day, and I think America Day. We are all very excited for those. October 3rd, I believe, is a Wednesday. So it will be Wednesday, Thursday, we will have a home football game against Greenway that night. Following that will be our homecoming dance in the old gym. And then Monday we'll come back, and I think girls volleyball has a game on Monday or Tuesday, which would be at home, which is why homecoming was that week. October 13th we have Turnabout. Sign-ups started today. We are all very excited to go out and buy dresses. So now for our sports. Tomorrow, Tuesday the 25th, we have a girls' tennis match against Hibbing in Hibbing, I believe. We have a girls' swimming meet at home at 4:30. We have a volleyball game at Greenway. JV starts 5:45, varsity starts at 7. On Thursday the 27th, we have cross country at Hibbing at 4:30. Boys soccer against Two Harbors at home. which since we are with them, it will be at the Mesabi East High School. We also have a girls volleyball game against Virginia at home at 7 o'clock. And on Friday, we have a football game versus Virginia in Virginia. And I think that's all I have.
All right,
Well,
thank you,
Yeah,
welcome back.
thank you for your report.
Thank you.
5.0 agenda additions and deletions.
Madam Chair, under the consent agenda, which would become letter G, we also received a donation from the First National Bank of Gilbert of school supplies for early childhood. Then I'd also turn your attention to go with consent agenda F. There's a, I don't have one, but there's a sheet, there should be a sheet in front of you that has the names of those activities.
Is this the same one you emailed to us today?
Yep. Well, it did change a little bit. I know Mr. Grippenstog added a few people for Gilbert, so there's less opens on there than there was this morning. But
Okay.
Okay. 6.0 visitor input.
I don't have any.
And nobody contacted me either. 7.0 approve the agenda. Can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the additional item on G for the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Sather, second by Addy. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 8.0, approve the treasurer's report for the month of August, the first check writing of September and the second check writing of September.
Well, for the month of August, we had a total receipts of $1,699,047.46, disbursements of $544,590.99, total payroll of $333.01. Our check balances in the Miners Bank is $4,680,238.26. First National Bank of Gilbert has $2,056,246.23 for a total between the two banks of $6,736,502.49. For the first check rating of September, we had disbursements of $92,627.16. And for the second check writing of September, we had a total disbursements of $367,000, 11 and 24 cents. And that's it.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
Also move we approve the treasurer's report as presented.
I will second. Motion by Gentilini, support by Lotiger. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 9.0 consent agenda. A, approve the minutes of the regular meeting of Monday, August 27th, 2018. B, accept a donation from the Autism Association of Northern Minnesota. C, accept a donation from the Eveleth Elks of school supplies. D, accept the donation from the Gilbert Community United Methodist Church of school supplies. E, accept the donation from Action for Healthy Kids. F, approve the 2018-2019 extracurricular assignments with the addition here at the table. And G, accept the donation of the First National Bank of Eveleth or Gilbert?
Gilbert.
Of Gilbert for school supplies for early childhood. Do we have a motion? I will make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Lotiger, second by Gentilini. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We have nothing removed from the consent agenda. Moving on to 11.0 personnel. 11.1, approve the head boys basketball coach assignment of Adam Rowan.
We had, well, then you talk about, go ahead, you were involved.
We had 2 applicants. We interviewed 2 of them. It was LinkedIn in August.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Support.
Motion by Addie, support by Sather. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 11.2, approve the head girls hockey coach assignment of Earl Fitzgerald.
Go ahead.
I can't remember off the top of my head how many we interviewed, but I think there were 3 that we had interviewed for this position.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Also move we accept the appointment of Earl Fitzgerald as head girls hockey coach on a recommendation of the investigating committee.
Do we have a second?
support.
Okay, motion by Gentilini, support by Addie. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 11.3, approve the 1.0 FTE elementary special ed teaching assignment of Bob Henderson.
Madam Chair, this is a replacement position. We, one of our special ed teachers over at the Gilbert campus went to the 18 to 21 program this year, and the elementary special ed teacher that we had in the Nell Sheen moved up into the junior high, and thus creating a vacancy in the Nell Sheen, so this would be for the Nell Sheen.
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the appointment for Bob Henderson.
Second.
Motion by Sather, support by Gentilini. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 11.4, approve the appointment of Dan Finkel as the custodian driver.
Yeah, Madam Chair, this is a position that was created through multiple internal shifts that ended in there being an opening in the afternoon shift at the Franklin. So that's where he will be. Now we're only down 1 plumber B. We should be full up then.
Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Second.
Motion by Addie, support by Gentilini. All those, or discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 11.5, approve the .21 FTE elementary music teaching assignment of LaDonna Mooster.
Madam Chair, Ms. Mooster has been here for several years now doing this part-time position. She also teaches Title I over there. It ends up being all in the Nell Sheen music program. So this is grades 5 and 6.
Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
I will support. Motion by Addie, support by Lotiger. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 12.0, new business. Excuse me. 12.1, set the meeting date for truth and taxation hearing.
So every year we're required to have a truth and taxation hearing, which our business manager will explain a little more about the levy on the next item, but this is required just to explain why our levy is the way it is. And you pass the final levy, then that night you're going to pass the proposed levy tonight. But it allows the public the opportunity to come and ask questions if they have them. sure we'll have, in the past, we've had Kathy Erickson from ARC conduct that meeting. If you remember right, she unfortunately isn't with them anymore, so I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but we'll find somebody.
Okay. So we have to come up with a date?
Yeah, and I think our December meeting is the 10th that month. So we can do it, it just has to be after 6 o'clock. We can do it that night and then conduct our regular business meeting afterwards if you like. Or if you'd like it on a different night, we can do that too. It just has to be done before the end of the year.
Does anybody have a preference?
We've traditionally just done it before a regular meeting and just went into our meeting after that. Seems,
But it has to be done after 6, did you say?
well, our meetings are at 6.
So let's do at 6 with that and then
Follow up.
to the regular meeting.
We did the same thing last year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Works.
So set
December
it for
10th.
the 10th.
Okay, so you got to vote on that.
Okay.
Can we get a motion?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion
I'll
to
second.
set it for December 10th at 6.
Okay. Motion by Zather, support by Addy. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 12.2, certified proposed 18, payable 19 levy.
Madam Chair, I've invited our business manager, Beth Downey, and bookkeeper, Brian Mary, up to talk to the board a little bit more about our levy this year.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Hello, I haven't met all of you, but I've met some of you, so if you want to talk after the meeting, we can definitely do that. So tonight, you are asked to approve the preliminary payable 19 levy at maximum. This is the levy for next school year, so the 1920 school year. The state continuously updates this levy through September 30th, so that's why you're asked to approve it at maximum, so that if there's any changes that happen between now and, in this case, I think it's Monday is their deadline, that those could be included on the final levy that you do in December. If you were to approve a specific dollar amount tonight, you couldn't change that any higher come December, so that's why you're asked to do maximum. We'll do the certified actual levy after the Truth and Taxation meeting that you now just approved for the 10th of December. The current levy is estimated at about a 6.6% overall increase from last year's. It is a 40-page document that the state puts out, and they've been now running these almost nightly. So I'll look again tomorrow to see if there have been any changes to ours, but currently it's sitting at 6.6. As you know, there's several levy components that are split between local levy and state aid. Those formulas are determined by state law, and there's not a lot that you can change as a board, especially on those. If you were to under levy a certain levy category that has a split, you would also lose the state aid that's attached to that. So when we get into December and do the actual, and you wanted to look at under levying something, that's definitely not something you'd want to, or you'd lose that aid as well. So why are we at a 6.6 increase at this time? There's several of those categories where the shift became more of a local levy and less of a state aid. So a lot of those were receiving the same amount of revenue total, just more of it's coming from our local taxpayers than what's coming from the state aid based on those formulas. There's prior period adjustments. We're passing tonight's for next school year, so there's a lot of estimates. There's also a lot of adjustments from estimates back in 2016-17, so that's kind of the cleanup year. There's a few things that are cleaned up for 17-18 school year, but of course that's not even closed yet. That won't happen until December for the state. So there's a lot of adjustments that occur on the levy. And then the taconite tax adjustment, which helps lower our local taxpayers' taxes, that's actually less this year. We're not getting as much from the taconite, which in turn helps raise that levy for our local taxpayers. So overall, right now, it's about $54,500, or a 6.6% increase over last year's. So if you have any specific questions on this one, again, we'll go more in depth come December when we have to do the actual.
Anybody have any questions now? Thank you, Spencer. Thanks for your help too, Leslie. Is there anything else we need to do with that? Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
I will support. Motion by Addie, support by Lotiger. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No.
Motion carries with one no. 13.0, administrative report and information.
All right. So enrollment today is at 890 in the K-12 and 85 in pre-K. We did lose a significant amount to PSEO that we weren't expecting this year. Trying to dig into that a little more. Just a little appreciation to go along with what Chair Lotiger said at the beginning. Last week was a pretty challenging week here, and I do appreciate everything that Ms. Williams and the high school staff did. I mean, they pulled it together and made it as best they could, and I thought they did a really nice job. And I especially want to thank Snickers. They sent pizzas in the day after, and as well as shortstops. Sent some Kleenex up here and stuff, so it was pretty nice. A little bit about the collaboration. So tomorrow, the facilities committee is over in Virginia High School. I'm going to do a tour and go through a couple things there. On Wednesday, the community outreach committee is coming here to do their tour here. And then on the 27th, the finance committee is down at Boomtown for lunch meeting. So we, last Monday, we surveyed the students. We had a little presentation on where we were at with the process. We asked them what they thought about it, and you can see the two bigger responses was, when can we start? And I like the idea and hope we can look more into it. So it's close to 80% in those two categories, and there's about 11% saying they're a little nervous about it because it's something they don't really understand yet, and then 10% said it wasn't for them. A little deeper, we asked them which academy they would likely go into. Health Sciences and Technology is the big blue one. Agriculture, Food, and Natural Resources being the red one at 25%. And then Business Management Administration at 22%. There's, what?
Well,
Did I miss something?
no, you didn't miss anything. I just wanted to make sure that, that this was, that you guys know that it was both school districts
Yes.
that took this survey?
Both schools 7 through 12.
7 through 12. So this
Sorry
is,
about that.
yeah.
Good catch. 22% Business Management Administration, and then close to 20% kind of undecided. Wasn't sure yet, which after having a 30-minute presentation is understandable. Also, along with that, we asked them if they had any advice for the board as they move forward. So I printed off all 24 pages of advice that the kids gave you guys. All right, go ahead. Mr. Griffin-Trog.
Okay, you can see there our school readiness preschool started last week. Super excited for having a great year at the Gilbert campus. I want to thank the board for allowing us to add a fourth section. You notice in the photo there's probably 20 little acorns in this particular class, and not that we want to lose any acorns to those squirrels, but we're hoping to open the new section of the fourth section preschool and take a few acorns and put them in another classroom. So anyway, super excited for the preschool to start. Fifth grade's off to a great start this year. We hope everyone has a great year. You can see the teachers and the students put together a puzzle piece about themselves. It's kind of hard to get the full picture there of each individual student, but they all fit together in one great puzzle there. Fifth grade also wants you to remember about the Burger Bash that's coming up Friday, October 5th, before the homecoming game at the Franklin Cafeteria. $7 a basket, and all the proceeds go to help fund the trip to the LEC this year.
Oh, sleeping.
And the junior high knowledge bowl starts next week. I think we have 3 teams that can participate this year, and Janine Bauman is offered to guide those students into their knowledge bowl season this year, so we wish them the best of luck as they move on. So thank you.
And at the high school, I just wanted to highlight our telepresence courses. This is a picture of 4 students taking Mandarin Chinese, and on the telepresence screen you can see the teacher, barely, I'm sure it's small, but Miss Liu, and then she has some students in that classroom as well. We have 9 students taking Mandarin Chinese. And then Mrs. Bauman is teaching personal finance in that classroom. We have some students from Virginia taking that class with her. And we have about 15 of our own students, third hour. Senior high, Mr. Pillsbury took our students already to a Mesabi College Fair where they had St. Kate's, Concordia, a variety of different colleges for them to go and look at to make sure we catch all our seniors so that they have a plan and action of what they're going to do after high school. These are our international students, our foreign exchange students. We have Larissa from Brazil, Laya from Spain, Carla from Spain, and Genoa from Thailand. And then my last slide is congratulating Mrs. Krebs and her successful fundraiser she had for Close Up. The students put on a welcome back dance for the junior high students. So it's a picture of all of the 7th and 8th grade junior high students that went to that celebration of welcoming them back and starting a good school year.
That's all we have for that, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you. 14.0.
Committee report, 14.1, the study session from 9/17/18.
Okay, so we covered a few different areas. The first one was the ECFE, looking at that program and the increased numbers. So the board did take some action at that time and approved bringing on or trying to hire on another teacher for bringing in, that would be a 4th class for that. The other area that we had discussed is we had JoJo Scott coming in and discussing the athletics program and the weight room. So we had spent time looking at just how it's looked at for the head coach position when the head coach leaves, and how it's looked for the other positions that work under that head coach. So the plan was that she was going to be surveying some of the other coaches to see what their thoughts were on the preference of that and getting back to us. The other piece for the weight room was looking at trying to figure out how to be opening this up to open it up to the community, and some possible times be able to pay people to run it, how that would be funded. So that was going to be something that was going to be looking at coming back to the board meeting. I'm assuming things aren't ready yet for that. Building and grounds had some discussion about our hallway issues that we have been having up in the Franklin, leading into the Franklin, and some added expenses that were not necessarily were part of the initial bid. So we had some discussion on that, and last we knew Mike was waiting on some bids on that, and that was going to be coming back also to the board. And lastly, we had Jeff brought us the potential board committees and having us take a look on whether or not we wanted to look at breaking down into smaller board committees on being able to get a little bit more efficiencies done within our work throughout the year.
So just a couple of them. So as far as the Franklin Wall goes, we met with the architect, I think it was last Thursday, And they agreed at this point to move forward and finish it. Depending on what the outcome is, we might be responsible for some, but they're going to foot most of the bill at this point for that. So we will probably be responsible for a little bit of it, but it won't be the 6,200 that we showed you the other day. So they were back today and they started putting it back together. So it was encapsulated last Friday. I think they were out there, and then they started putting it back together today. As far as the head coaching replacement thing, I guess I'm not sure where, I mean, I know that JoJo was supposed to go ask head coaches what their opinion is on that, but, I mean, ultimately, it's going to be your decision on if we do anything with that or not. So I don't know if you want to have, I'm looking at another study session on Monday, and I can't think of the date off the top of my head. That would be October 1st, to look at some things in the business office or agreement with Spencer and some of the other shifts that are happening right now. If you want to look at possible some policy on the head coaching replacement, I guess we could that night as well. And then the other one is the board committees. I left a sheet in front of you. The only thing that I added since we last met is community outreach / enrollment on the bottom there. But other than that, they're all the same as we talked about the other night. I don't know if you've given any more thought to that. Or
Don't we already have these set up? It just, we've never, on a reorganizational meeting, we talk about them, but
right,
we just throw everybody at them, and then we don't use them.
Well, no, we kind of agreed that we just have committee as a whole. I mean, they're full boards. We're looking at maybe not doing that. Maybe just having a couple members on each of them. And you don't have to. I mean, we can leave it the way it is too if you want. That's up to you guys.
As I said in the study session, I like the idea of committees and trying to be more efficient rather than always doing everything as a committee of the whole.
Right, I agree.
I agree as well. I didn't receive any emails or anything from anybody regarding committees that they wanted to be on. Did you receive any? There's some discussion who would like to be on what during that work session, but there wasn't a lot filled. So did anybody give any thought to ones they wanted to be on, or?
If I have bills, obviously, you let us know.
Were you guys starting from scratch today, or we already have basically safety negotiations, and I thought there was something else that they...
The safety and negotiations were set earlier.
Yeah. I thought there
The
was
rest
one
of
other
them
one then.
the rest of them we've been just doing study sessions at this point.
Yeah, safety negotiations have been happening, but that's about it.
And this is just for the rest of the year. Obviously, you'd reorganize in January.
But we thought
And if you
at
want to wait
least-
till January, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, but we thought at least starting to get the ideas of the current board members on where their interest lies with these possible committees, and then, of course, with the new board members going from there then, too. Tom, did you get a chance? I know you wanted to take some time to look at it. Did you get a chance to look at it and see if there's any ones that popped out to you a little bit more for interest?
I don't know, you got about 12 committees there.
We don't, I mean, like I said, we don't have to have 12 either. I mean,
Yeah.
we can combine them.
Well, I could probably take a couple of them, you know. But you have to have this now, or do you want to wait until the new board comes in and make all these committees then, after the first of the year? Wouldn't that be the right way of doing it?
I think the discussion was just that,
Yeah.
you know, to try and get things going so we can have some committees, you know, taking some action and having meetings.
take action.
Well, not action, but just getting the ball rolling on talking about some different things that we need to talk about between now and the end of the year. I
Maybe
mean, like Jeff had said, we can keep them a committee of the whole or whatever, or we can
Like the
try and formulate some,
I like to do the committee of the whole, because then you can attend any of the committees that any of the board member wants to meet, but
okay? What's everybody else's
you're not narrowing it
thought?
down to.
Well, just, I mean, on that, I mean, when I started on the board, we did do committees, but even though you weren't on a committee, it was still an open meeting, you could attend. There's no action to be taken anyway. It's just sometimes it really wasn't like accepted to sit at the table, was it, because of if there was a quorum or something? But, I mean, it was still an open meeting, and it was typically noticed and published. Really what it comes down to, the problem is if there's more than 4 or more than 3 at a meeting, is if it wasn't published, if it was a last minute meet and greet or something, you know, Jeff could say, hey, you know, 3 of the board members show up and it's not a technical meeting, and we don't have open meeting things, but.
Well, we're supposed to post them anyway for 3 days.
Oh, yeah,
Same
that's right.
posting requirement.
Well, and I guess I keep thinking of the efficiencies. I mean, we have so many policies that we need to be reviewing and that we have to be reviewing every 3 years. And there's a lot of other things that should be happening and need to be happening. And there's only so many hours in my days to be able to spend coming for meetings and meetings on top of our regular board meetings and on top of other committee meetings, that it's much easier for me to commit to 3 committees that I will commit to and be part of on top of our regular board meetings and on top of study sessions versus everything being a committee of a whole. That's all. That's
And that being
a
said,
lot.
if a meeting is called, it would be nice to have it more than 3 days notice too, because
Yeah.
a meeting gets called 3 days ahead, and sometimes I'm booked out more than 3 days ahead.
So, and a lot of times the committees can be a set schedule and
And
a
that's the way
set
they kinda used to
rotation,
be,
and
yep.
yeah, so that
So
way
you
it's
can
a little
plan
bit
for
more.
every odd Monday, a meeting, or Tuesday, or whatever. I mean, this last minute meetings all the time just doesn't work
hard.
out.
So are we keeping it?
I'll just put my name on it and give it to you, Brandy, which ones I want to be on, but it doesn't matter.
Well, it kind of sounds like some want, we really haven't come to a conclusion here on what.
I mean, I
people-
agree with Kelly, you know, meeting after meeting after meeting, you know, I don't mind. It's just that there's only so many hours in
Yeah,
our
we
days
have
and weeks and
full-time
months.
jobs, too.
Yeah.
I mean, if I may, Madam Chair, I guess it would come to the recommendation of the superintendent, what he thinks he needs. What kind of direction does he need from the board, and what does that look like? I mean, do you need a couple committees for the end of the year that you'd like to throw together, or maybe some ad hoc ones to get to the end of the year, or do you want to just start it today?
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, why throw the book at it if you only need a magazine, per se?
Well, I'll tell you where the discussion started. MSBA came up a few weeks ago, and that was one of the things that was brought up. And the other thing is, I mean, and I guess in my dream world, I mean, you guys are talking about all the meetings and time you spend in it. I mean, in my dream world, I mean, we could have some of these things at 3 o'clock, and, I mean, I would like to have some staff involved in them too, and if you're gonna have staff, they need to be at 3. I mean, some of them obviously you can't. I don't know. I mean, just like the buildings and grounds, I'd love to have a buildings and ground committee that could meet at 3 so that I could have staff there that could explain some of the stuff rather than listening to me that doesn't know. I mean, we have a pretty significant heating issue right now that needs some thought into. I wish that we could get all of my people in the room and hammer it out. We have a leak in the pipe going up to the Franklin, in case you're wondering.
Is that the same pipe we fixed?
We fixed about 80 feet of it 3 years ago, and
Oh, this is the
there's some more that's going. You know, just stuff like that. So, I mean, but if that isn't possible and we have to meet at 5, 6 o'clock, I'm not going to get staff people here at 5, 6 o'clock. I'm just not. There's stuff like that. I mean, a lot of things like the academic advisory and stuff that parents are going to be involved with too. I mean, yeah, those are 5, 6 o'clock. Like staff development, buildings and grounds, stuff where I need our people here. It's going to be 3 or nothing. I mean,
Our safety one is we usually do it at
Yeah.
like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
that's my biggest thing. I wish some staff could be involved with that stuff too.
So is there, I mean, like, so is there, up to Mike's point, is there a need for pulling together a building and grounds one right now? I mean, because that is
It was going to
pretty
be, it was on my,
significant.
when I talked about the one for Monday, I mean, that's what we were going to,
That's what we're
that was going to be
gonna do
another
is-
topic.
Okay. And I think policy is a big one too. I think policy, that I don't feel like can keep getting pushed off and pushed
Right.
off. I think
gotta
if we
get
could
rolling
form
with
a
that.
policy committee right now. I think the other ones, I agree, I mean, there's a big list of here. I don't necessarily, I agree with you. I mean, these were just put down as ideas that Jeff presented to us to look at, but I think we could at least maybe look at the prioritizing them possibly.
But if we're like I said at our last work session, if we sign up for a committee, it's beneficial if you make that commitment to be there, because it's very difficult to get things done if only one person shows up. So,
Anyway, give it some thought. I mean, we can finish the conversation on Monday, because like I said, at 5 o'clock, we have to, I mean,
With some of these, Jeff, couldn't you like put them together? Like
we can, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
safety and buildings and grounds could be together.
Sure.
I see staff development and academic academy can be mashed together.
Yep.
Labor management negotiations and even staff development can be part of that to some degree.
Actually, the first meetings we had, like transportation, buildings and grounds, when I was first on, we used to always do those meetings together because they kind of interconnected with the
Yeah,
bus garage.
transportation, safety, and buildings and grounds probably all
Right.
one.
I mean, you can put them just together. You know, so if you sign up for one, that's what you're going to sign up for.
Okay.
You know, that
No, I
way-
agree.
Don't you agree?
Yep.
Well, I mean, because you're getting 3 topics. You know, you're getting,
Just teasing
you know.
them. I'm on the safety ones, I'm giving you a look like you're gonna know a little bit more about the buildings piece than I'm gonna necessarily know, so that's okay.
Well-
That was the only reason I was giving you that look.
Okay. Think it's good.
I'll be pulling you in on it.
well, let's just have further discussion on it
For
at the
Monday?
work session on Monday.
Okay. That's all I have then.
We can
Thank you.
put things together. All right. So the only thing left is a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion by Addie, support by Sather. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.